Hi, welcome to Soulprint Insights. I am so thrilled that you're here. Thank you so much. This channel is really off to a flying start, and I really do appreciate all of the support. And of course, those who are watching the videos and liking and commenting, it means a great deal to me. So thank you. So today I want to share with you a Masudius channeled a channeled message. So I asked, in the last, 10 years or so, maybe longer, there's been a lot of sort of this Christ consciousness, living with Christ consciousness, being Christ conscious. And I was sort of like, what does that mean exactly? Like, what is this telling us? What is the message or the intent behind like Christ consciousness? So when I asked the question, this is the answer I got, and it ended up actually being one of my most favorite channeled pieces, simply because I think that there's some real clarity in it, and kind of some really good food for thought. So once again with my reading specs, and let's find out what Masudius said when the question was asked, what does living in Christ consciousness mean? The state to which you refer is an emotional, physical state wherein mind, body, and soul reside in harmony. This state is realized more often than not in times of meditation and deep relaxation, understanding and remembering that meditation and relaxation can be active. It does not necessarily mean, sitting in an Om position, okay? In this state, the mind and body transcend the physical realities of the world you live in and enter a state of communion with the divine and your higher self. It is in this state or frame of mind reference that clarity and harmony are realized. With this clarity comes the absolute knowledge that you and all are one with the creative force. The flame that is you and is divine, which resides within all of us, is turned up, allowed to shine brighter and brighter until it envelops you, body, and soul. From there, it radiates outward in ever-increasing waves of love and brilliance. The power and force of this love can and will heal the world. To bring this state into your daily actions simply requires the intent to connect with that light in an ongoing way. The intention can simply be 3 deep breaths, or as complicated and full of ritual as you would like to make it. When connection is made to this state easily and comfortably, comes the understanding that all is in love and all is in perfection for that space each soul is moving through. This is not to say that situations cannot and should not be healed, only that before healing can occur, acknowledgement must be given, must be given for the insights and blessings of that space and time from which you came or are now in. Understanding comes from seeing perfection in every moment, knowing that where you are is right now the correct and opportune place for you to be so that you can achieve that which you are desiring. So bless every moment as an opportunity to grow and understand so that the forward momentum of your life experience continues to move forward, lest you get hung up on the boulders and rocks which you were actually intended to float above. Connecting with this highest state of consciousness is an important daily practice for a very clear reason. You already know that no thought is neutral, and that your thoughts are made manifest faster and faster. It is from this state that a quiet mind and a quiet heart can hear your thoughts and make corrections to ensure that right thoughts produce right results. Right being that which is your highest desire and not that which is your highest fear. Hold that energy gently secure in the knowledge that prayers are answered and intentions are made manifest. Move forward into that awareness and understanding that the time and method are much less important than holding the faith and energy gently and allowing those waves of love to envelop and heal any and every situation in a miraculous way. That is why the simple prayer, God, the divine, thank you for sending me the miracle of healing in this situation. That phrase is very, very powerful. Divine, thank you for sending me the miracle of healing in this situation. Just think about that for a second. Firstly, it aligns your thoughts and your heart with God, your co-creator. Second, it affirms your gratitude and knowledge that all prayers are answered. And third, it allows you to release the situation into divine intervention. Much has been made of the state of Christ consciousness and living in it and being in it. But understand this. It is your natural state. With every breath and intention, you are there. You really are. Internalized within each of God's children is the ability to be one with this state. Indeed, during your sleep time hours, it is where you go for part of the time to be healed and recharged. The difficulty appears to be that this is not a space or a place outside of yourselves, but an internal space, that is where you must go to find it consciously. It's not out there. It's in here. Far too many have forgotten the importance of quieting the mind and body, and time is filled up with activities deemed much more important. The question must be asked, what is more important than a standing date with your co-creator and friend? What is more important than minutes a day to connect with the thoughts you are using to make manifest your very life? What is more important than a few minutes in every day to recharge and heal the tool called your body? Should there be a list of that which is more important, then remember this. The length of that list is an indicator of how far from source you are. Reflect and absorb these words with love and blessings. I'm sorry. Reflect and absorb these words. Our love and blessings are with you in all ways, at all times. We are Masudius. Okay, so the state that they're talking about is it's much more easily drawn towards you, I think, than most of us realize. In fact, I would venture to say that certainly several times a week, if not daily, we have those flashes, those moments of that energy. It can happen, when you're doing things. Sometimes it happens when you're doing the dishes or the ironing, for those of you who still iron out there. For gardening, walking by the ocean, walking through the forest, listening to the wind play with the leaves, sitting in front of a fireplace. It is those moments of time where you just feel like, even though there's kind of crazy going on around your world, crazy going on in your world, it is those moments where, just for that moment, you feel as if all is right with the world. It's very similar, I think, to the feeling that you get when you take that first sip of coffee in the morning, that kind of like, all is in place. It can happen almost any time when you're doing almost anything, including an intense sort of meditation proper. So that's the feeling you're looking for. And when you feel that feeling, what you want to do is just take a moment and recognize the state you are in. You are in total connection. Your mind, your body, and your soul, for that moment, are literally in harmony. So what you want to do is recreate the moment. So that doesn't actually take a whole lot of work if you think about it, right? Because for people who rely on coffee to get going in the morning, you just have to think about how that moment feels when it's just, I got this, okay? And what's going to happen is, over time, should you choose, you can literally, with memory recall, draw that moment right back to you. And in that moment where you know that everything is in perfection for that moment, you are literally now standing in Christ consciousness. And that energy is about that connection to the divine and that connection to your soul. Okay? This is not something outside of you. This isn't somewhere you go to get it. It's internal. And so it is about turning inwards, kind of shutting off the world for just a few moments, and just coming to a state and place of peace. This is not a long process. This does not have to take a long time. So, and sometimes you just are going through your world and you realize sort of that you have just skipped out of time, right? You're doing something and you're really involved with it and you're really focused, and you kind of come back to sort of consciousness or reality and you realize, oh my goodness, I just actually don't know where the last 10 minutes went. That is the state we're talking about. So, I hope you have found this interesting and helpful. As I said, it ended up being one of my favorite channelings simply because in some ways it just put everything in perspective. In kind of the craziness of the life we all live, it makes you realize that those moments of just peace are vital and instrumental. And once you experience them, you actually come to realize, you know what, this is not a hard state to achieve. And because it's not a hard state to achieve, that means that you can bring that state to you in a way and means that just simply works for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I thank you once again for all of the support of this channel. I receive it with gratitude, and I send my thanks out to you with my sincere appreciation. So, for now, stand in your light and stand in your power. Bye.